I'm Claire from Creator the Ottaway. I'm an independent demonstrator for Stampin' Up! In the UK. Thank you for joining me today. What are we making today? This rather unassuming gift box. Mother's Day is round the corner. If you've watched my videos before, you know that I like a bit of a wow on the inside, and this has certainly got that. It's called a napkin fold box, so it just opens out, perfect for a little gift for anniversary, for Mother's Day, even for Easter. I'll just show you that again. Now it looks really complicated, but it isn't. We'll do it step by step together. That I did in the marvellous paper from Celebration that's just gone, and then this is a previous box I've done with some older designer series paper, but you can see the effect you can get with different colours. So again, it's just an unassuming box, and then when you open it up you can put all sorts in. That will tuck in there, you can put your gift in there. Really lovely make. So hopefully you're going to give this a go, and I will explain it to you step by step. So we're going to be using today the pierced blooms dies to decorate the lid of the box, but the actual stuff that you need for the box itself, you just need 3 pieces of card and 5 sheets of designer series paper. Now, looking through my stash, I was trying to find a paper that was any way up. By that I mean it doesn't matter which way round you do it, because obviously you're going to be cutting it quite a lot. I decided on one of the Celebration papers that have just gone. I wanted a real contrast between the front and the back, so that when you do the napkin bit in the inside, it really is a bit of a wow. And as it's Mother's Day, I've gone for some florally paper. So that's what we're going to do. Okay, let's get started. So the first thing you need is to cut one of your pieces of card, which will become your base, to 8 by 8 inches. Okay, so it's just a square, 8 by 8, and you just cut it. I'm using shimmery cards just because I want an added element of wow on my box. So as soon as you've cut it 8 by 8, you're going to score it on 2 of the sides at 2 and 6. So get rid of that cutting blade and just use your scorer, and you're doing it at 2. Oh, that doesn't feel like it's in the runner properly. 2 inches and 6 inches. Okay, so hopefully you can see that, and then I'm just going to turn it sideways and do the same again. So I'm going to do it at 6 inches just because it's already lined up, and 2 inches. Okay, now that gives you your square cut into different sections. You should see a big square in the middle, a corner square, and then rectangles either side. Now you'll need to take note of that in a minute, so we'll come to that. Take 2 of your pieces of designer series paper. Now when mine started off, it was 12 by 12, but I've just cut it down into 6 by 6. So you're going to need 2. The first one you're going to cut at 3 7/8. Oh, cutting blade, 3 7/8. Turn it sideways and do it 3 7/8. So you end up with a nice square. Okay, a 3 7/8 inch square. Now that leaves you with 2 pieces left over, and they need to be cut to 3 3/4 by 1 3/4. So 3 3/4 by 1 3/4. So that's 1, because you're going to need 4 of these. So you can get 2 from this, 3 3/4, a little bit left over, 1 3/4. So out of your one piece of designer series paper, you should have those 3 pieces. Okay, now take your second piece of designer paper and you need 2 more of those sizes. So you need 2 rectangles that are 3 3/4. So 3 3/4, and they need to be 1 3/4 wide. Okay. It makes a little bit different that we're putting the designer series paper on as we go, but I've just found that that's the easiest thing to do. And again, you've got a few scraps left over for decorating or whatever you want. So bring that piece of paper back in. So you should have your 8-inch square. You should have your 3 7/8 by 3 7/8 square that fits in the middle of your score lines, and I'm just going to glue that in place. Oh, now this piece is going to be the inside of your box. So when you open your box in there, it's that bit there that you're gluing now. So that's the bit you're going to see. So it might be worth having a think which side of the designer series paper you want on the inside. I'm going to put this on the outside of my box, so I'm actually going to glue mine that way down. So I'm just going to press those sides down because where I've cut it, it's left a bit of a ridge, so I'm just going along that. Okay. So sadly, I'm putting glue on these daffodils, and I'm going to glue my square right in the middle. Okay. So turn it over. I've decided to do it that way round, and you're just aiming for the middle of your square. If you're using Tumbo glue, you know what I'm going to say, there's a little bit of a wiggle room. Okay, so that's my square. Now these other pieces form the sides of your box here, so these bits going round, but to get those on in the right place you need to turn your card over. And then I want those on the outside, so this time I'm putting glue on this pale papaya side. So you're going to put one there, because that's the side. I'm going to do the one opposite. I'm just going to check you can see on camera. So there's that one. That's going to go there. Like so, and then you're just going to glue these 2 here and here. Now this box isn't a new design by me. This box has been around a long time, but sometimes it's worth revisiting past makes that you were in love with. If you're anything like me, you find something you really like, you do it to death, cover it in all sorts of different papers, and then you fall out of love with it again. So this is one of those makes for me. I've made these previously, quite a while ago now. And then I was looking for a bit of a wow for the YouTube video and thought, I've also just had a craft retreat with my team, and this was one of the makes on there. And everybody really loved it. So this is your base. Put that to one side. You don't need that just yet. Next, we're going to concentrate on the lid. So again, the lid is like this. Think about the paper when we get to that point. We are just going to do the shimmer card to start with. Just bring mine in. Okay, and this time it needs to be 8 1/16 of an inch. Okay, so cut your square to 8 1/16 of an inch. Okay. When you've done that, we're now going to do some scoring. So the scoring is going to be on all 4 sides, so we're going to need to turn it round. So the first one is at 1 inch. Okay, remember to get rid of that cutting blade because that's a right pain if you cut rather than score. 1 inch and 2 inches. So that's just done one side. So you need to repeat that on all 4 sides. So scoring again, 1 inch, and oh, can't see it through the reflection, and 2 inch, 2 sides, three sides, last side, like so, 2 inches and 1 inch. Okay, and then what you should end up with is a square that's got, this time it's got the big square in the middle, and then it's got 2 rectangles either side and 4 squares in the middle. So it's scoring at 1 and 2 inch on all 4 sides. Then again you need to bring your DSP in. This time you just need 1 sheet, and we're going to do the same as what we did just now on the base. We're going to cut the DSP to fill in the gaps on the lid. So this time we do need the same. We need 3 7/8 by 3 7/8 square. So I'm going to cut mine straight down at 3 7/8, like so. Leave that to one side because I'm going to need it. Turn it sideways, 3 7/8, and that's my square. Okay, and then these bits that are left, I need 4 pieces that are 3 7/8 by 3/4. So I already know this is 3 7/8 because I chopped it down in one go. So I need 3/4 from that. Oh, not the scorer. That's going to move, isn't it, as I do it? So it looks really thin like that. I can get another one out of that. So that's handy. Like that. And the next one I think is just a smidgen too small. So I take my other piece. I'm going to cut it off at 3 7/8. Take that spare bit away, and then 2 pieces that are 3/4. So there's 1, and there's 2. Okay, and there's that bit that doesn't fit again. So if I bring my square back in, we'll see where we fit these. So this time the square goes in the middle. Remember, this is going to be the top of your box, so decide which way round you want it to be. I think I'm actually going to go dark on this one, and then the side pieces go on the first rectangle all the way round, so they're going to go there. Okay, so go ahead and glue those in place. It is so lovely here in the UK today. It's perfect spring weather, so it's quite nice to make a make that involves flowers. Okay, let's have this. So that rectangle is going in that one. And just aim for it somewhere in the middle, and then I'll show you how to turn this into your lid. And we'll leave the stressful napkin folding bit for the last. It's not really stressful, it's just getting it in the right order. Putting the designer series paper on as you go is so much easier as well. The only thing, obviously, is you have to decide a bit quicker which side of the paper you want to use, which is not really an easy thing for me. So what I'm going to do is leave that to dry a bit, and I'm going to bring my base back in, and I'm just going to show you how to do the base. So really easy. Just get my big scissors. So literally you're just going to turn this into your base. So you are going to cut up the sides here just to the first score line so that that becomes a tab. Do it there and there. And just to get a nice fit on your box, what I'm going to do is just angle a piece there so that that comes out like that. And then I'm just going to cut the same off here. Now I find it easier to go from this edge and angle it down like that. So what you're left with is a little tab with two pieces cut out. If I put those back where they would be, so you've got one there and one there, and that's made my tab. And I'm just going to do the same here. It just gives you a better chance of getting a nice right angled box. Oh, that doesn't want to cut. Just cut that there. So that's two tabs there. So I'm going to turn it round and do the ones opposite. And this is making my box base. Okay, do the tabs again. One there. Oh. And there. Like so. So I'm guessing this video is going to be longer than my normal super quick ones, but hopefully you will persevere and give it a go. So thinking about this is my inside and this is my outside, what I'm going to do is just burnish all these sides. Somewhere around here is my bone folder, but I'll just quickly do it now. Just bring them up so that you're telling the paper where you want it to go. You're sort of guiding it before you actually glue it. That's the whole purpose of that. So let's make that box. So you're just putting glue on the tab. And make sure you put enough glue because you want it to be strong, but not so much that it squeezes out everywhere. And then just get a nice right angle on your box and just hold it a minute, press down on it, whichever you prefer, just to get that nice and sharp. Put some more glue on this side and just keep repeating that all the way round until you've got a nice square box. I'm going to glue these two together, so I'm going to put that out just because it's hard to get glue on the inside of the box without getting it everywhere and sticking to everything. Although I'm only concentrating on one at a time, there is glue on both. So I'm not even doing anything with this tab yet. I'm just putting that glue on that side, and then when I'm ready, come into that and getting a nice right angle on that as well. So already, ta-da, a box base. Okay, daffodils on the outside, lovely pale papaya on the inside. Right, bring the box lid back in. Now this is a little bit different and a little bit more trickier, but hopefully I'll do one and you'll be able to see. Basically, this square here next to your rectangles of DSP is going to be your tab. So you cut up on this side. If I cut one out, cut up on this side. So you end up with two, oh, let me show you, two bits like this. Cut one of them off. And I'm actually going to do mine slightly at an angle because this is a reinforced lid. So this is going to fold under. So I haven't done that square. I've done it slightly angled. And this one, I'm just going to do that one the same. So that's cut off there. Now this is my tab. So I going to cut that across there, so I'm left with this bit. But the same as on my box base, I want to make sure that I've got quite a nice crisp corner. So I am just taking a thin sliver off at an angle. Let's just get that one off. So you can see it's like that. So if I do that and show you, so this one's been cut off from there, that one's been cut off from there, and I've just angled it slightly. These little bits have come off. So I'm going to do the same on this side. So I go up this one. Well, actually I go at an angle there, don't I? And then I go up. Like so. Up this one. So you're effectively making 2 tabs. Cut this one off. And cut this one off. And I just turn that into a slightly shaped tab so it will tuck inside fine. Like so. Okay, so I've done one side. Turn it round. So you're doing opposite. And just do that side. So up that line, up that score line, cut this bit off, cut that bit off. Here's where I wish I was good at singing and I could just sing you a little song. But I'm awful, absolutely awful at singing. Anybody else awful at singing? Only ever sing when I'm on my own, in the car, out loud. Don't sing in the shower because that's indoors, everyone will hear. Sometimes sing in my craft room if I've got the radio on, but quite like quiet when I'm crafting. My brain can't cope with too much information. Or maybe that's just a sign of getting older. Okay. That's that side. This is the bit that I should fast forward for you all, but it's nice to chat. Okay, let's move all these bits out of the way and I'll put that down so you can see. So you should have a tab here, and then tabs opposite. Now this is your lid, so let's burnish all these sides and all these score lines. Just give the paper an idea of where you want it to fold. You're just being the boss and telling it what to do, but without glue, okay? Because once you try and do this with glue on your fingers, oh my goodness, you stick to it, the spare bits of DSP stick to it, you end up in a right mess and then you get all fed up with crafting. So we don't want that. Let's just fold all those. So already you can see what's going to happen. So these tabs are going to come in like that, but they're actually going to tuck under this one. So that will come like that. This one will come like that, and then those will tuck over. So what I like to do is bend these back. Bend these ones back first because they're just in the way. You can stick them down in a minute. All we're going to do is do the tabs. Just concentrate on that, because if you're trying to do everything at once, you can't see the wood for the trees. So we're just doing we're making it, pretend it's the base, and you're just making a nice crisp cornered box, okay? So that's just going on there. That's going there. Crafting should be stress-free. It really should, because there's so much other stress in your life. You just turn the telly on and you just need I say any more. So this is your escape and your you time. Don't let it stress you. Take the easy option. So that's the sides. This is this bit. Okay. So while you're check in all your sides because that one hasn't glued. Just go round and make sure that you're really happy with that lid. Okay, then when you are happy, choose one of the sides that the tabs are on. Okay, put some glue on here. Again, you want enough glue to stick it, but not so much that it goes everywhere. Now you've already folded the paper that way. Now fold it back the way that you want it to be and just hold on to it. You could, what do I do sometimes? Sometimes if I'm in a bit of a rush, I'll hold it down with pegs just so it holds it in place. But you're just giving that glue a chance to set before you go to the opposite side. So do the opposite side the same. Okay, just make sure you get right up to the edge because you don't want any bits sticking on. And do the same, be the boss. Tell it where you want it to go. Guide it with your fingers, press down. Really make nice crisp edges. And then the opposite sides, which shouldn't have any problem at all sticking because you're an old hand at this now. This is your third one. Okay, so that's there. Press it down, make sure it's really stuck, and then do the last one, and voila, we will have a lid for our box. Now, if you want to, and you're feeling stressed, just stop there. You've got a lovely box for Mother's Day. You can decorate the lid, put a bit of ribbon round, and that will be it. Okay, that just fits on top of there, like so. Look at that, beautiful. If, however, you'd like to give the napkin fold a go, get your last piece of card. Okay, let's put that to one side. So the last piece needs to be 8 inches by 8 inches. Just need to find my card because it's got walkabouts like it does. Okay, let's see, did I put it over here? I don't think I did. This doesn't look big enough. Let's have a look. That's definitely not big enough. Let me get another sheet out. Thank goodness we're in my craft room today. Okay. So this one again is going to be 8 inches by 8 inches. So I might need to open my ruler out. Okay. 8 inches by 8 inches. Okay. And the bit that we're going to do next for this, so it's more or less the same as the base that you do. You are going to score this at 2 and 6 inches. So 2 inches, scoring, remember, 2 inches and 6 inches. But while you're there, you're also going to make a little mark at 4 inches. Okay, so a mark at the top and a mark at the bottom there. And the other thing you're going to do is you're going to get a pencil. I think this one is fine. Put both of your blades, your cutter and your scorer, down to the bottom, and it allows you to just push your pencil in there a little bit firmer. And while it's at 4 inches, find the 4 inches here, okay, and just make a little line. So you've got a line like that in the middle, okay. Turn it sideways and you are scoring at 6 again. So 6 inches and scoring at 2 inches, 2 inches, making a little line or a little notch at 4 at the top and the bottom. Move your scoring and cutting blades down the bottom. Check it's still at 4. Find the 4 there. Put your pencil in and just make a little cross there. So you should have a cross in the middle of your paper. Okay, now do it in pencil so that you can rub out, but this really helps you find the placement for the next bit. So give your hands a bit of a workout. We're going to do some folding, and we do need a bone folder, so let me find that. Okay, found it. So what you're going to do is turn your paper to, so it's like a diamond, and you're going to fold up, and using that pencil cross, fit your corner of your card into that triangle, and then just press it down really firmly. Really nice sharp crease on it, okay? So hopefully you can see that. It fits right in there. Fold it out, turn it round, and do it with the next one as well. So you're going to keep doing this all the way round, okay? But you want really nice firm creases. So next one, the third side, all the way round. And then the last one. Okay, just put that in and do that. So you should have 4 that fit together really nicely. Now when I've done it without the pencil line, they've sort of overlapped each other because I'm never quite sure where they are. Now you can of course just rub out your pencil line now. You're going to be cutting that in a minute. So you won't really see it. But I'm going to rub it out anyway, so it's not there anymore. It's just as a guide for you. Okay, now turn your card round, and where there's a line going across here, you're going to just score that as well. So you've already scored it before, you're just burnishing it now, sorry, not scoring it. Turn it around this way and do the same. Just get nice crisp lines. And this one, this should be your third side. Okay. My paper keeps moving. And then this one is your last one to there. Okay, so you should have lots and lots of triangles on here. Okay. So I'm hesitating because I'm thinking how I can show you best. So this, take this side, so you have your paper like this, take it like that. What you need is this square left on the top. So you fold in the side so that that goes in and it leaves the square on the top. Can you see that? So if I do it again, I've brought my square in because I know I want this square. And where I've already scored, I can easily fold it in like so, and then just press on your square so that the paper knows where you want it to fold in future. Okay, so that's that one. Now I'm turning it this way, I'm doing the same. I want to see my square on the top, so this automatically folds in. This one I need to give a little bit of a help because it doesn't really want to go. And I'm pressing that down. And I'm pressing that. And pressing that. So I've now got 2. Turn it sideways. I want this square on the top. So that one goes like so. But this one's now trying to do it as well. So we're going to put that on there. Okay, and just try and make sure they don't overlap. If they do, just manoeuvre them round a bit. Okay, and that should leave you, that one's there, with the last one here. So I'm just going to burnish that one. Okay, And then the last thing to do when you've got that shape is bring this one back to here. So I'm going to turn mine round so I can see what I'm doing a bit more. And then when it's folded back, just burnish it. So that's that one. Do the same with the next triangle or square, turn it into a triangle. Okay, so you've got those, and then you do the same with the other two. You're folding them back, burnish it there, just get nice creases on your paper. I'm feeling shimmery card is showing up all the folds, whether I want them there or not. But don't panic. Remember, stress free. We're going to cover it with DSP in a minute. So that gives us our napkin. Okay. So now we need some paper for it. So you should have 2 pieces of designer series paper left. The first one you are going to cut into 2.5 inch squares. So you want 4. So 2.5. Okay, turn it. 2.5. There's 1. There's 2. That bit's no good. I want 2 more. 2.5. That one. 2.5. 3. And 4. So that's my 4. 4 2.5 inch squares. And then the other piece that's left, your last piece, needs to be squares that are 1 5/8 by 1 5/8. And you actually need 8. Okay, so 1 5/8. I'm going to do that. 1 5/8 and 1 5/8, like so. That bit's no good, and I'm going to try and be clever and cut them all in one go, just to save you a bit of boring watching time. So let's see if we can do that. Okay, so it's 3. Hold that there. Hold that there. Oh, that one moved, didn't it? 6. Obviously, you can take your time. I'm just aware that this video is probably getting a bit long. Okay, so that's 9. So one of those I don't want. So there's 8. Now, there's one more bit to do on here. What we're going to do is cut all of these squares into triangles. Okay, but before we do that, we need to cut across here. So you're going to need a ruler and a craft knife, because what you are going to do, let's see if I can find my craft knife now. Okay, because this needs to be cut into squares. So I'm going from this corner to this corner. Oh, let's make sure that DSP is not underneath. Hang on, because I don't want to cut that. Just move this, because my tabletop is a glass top, so that's perfect for cutting on. Good old IKEA. Okay, so I'm just going to go over that twice to make sure it's cut. I'll turn it sideways and cut again, just from this corner to this corner. You see it's already done it. Okay, so if I move that out of the way, move that back in so you can see. So now I've just got to think about the placement of my squares. So the 4 big ones, I am cutting them diagonally. Now you can do this precisely on your trimmer. I am just doing it for speed. 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so you'll straight away see where the big triangles go, there and there. I'm going to turn those ones around that way. So, because remember the inside of my box is this pattern. So I'm going to change that around, and this is why it's good to have the Stampin' Up! Two-sided designer series paper, because you're only using one sheet but you're using both sides. So then the smaller squares you're cutting in half, and you've just got to think about where you're putting those and which bits you're going to see on your napkin fold. So I am just cutting them off very quickly with my scissors. Remember, you need 8 of them. Okay. I think this is the last one. Okay, so again, let me think about this. I think I'm going to have them like that. Okay. And so that means I want those ones the same, like that. That one's the same like that, like that. I will show you on the one I've previously made so you can see why I'm doing what I'm doing. That I think is going to be like that, and that's like that. So, oh, can't see that one, can I? So that should be that one. That should be that one. That'll be that way. That'll be that way. That'll be that way. That'll be that way. So if I show you on this one, for instance, so when the box is closed, so this is your napkin fold, but you see the top of this one, the inside of this one, and then you see the base of your box. So if I open that out, can you see those patterns are that side and that one's that side, and then the inside is triangle is stuck on the side of your box. So think about where you want them. I don't know how quickly I will be able to do this, but let's give it a go, because I really want to show you the last bit. I might have to go around and stick these all afterwards. Okay, let's take them off. Okay, so I can remember that the bits on here are that way round, because the base of my box is the opposite colour. So again, because this is any way up paper, it doesn't matter how it's been cut, it will still look lovely. So let's do that. If I just do these 4 side pieces like so, because it's starting to stick to my fingers as well. You know that feeling when you think, oh, everything's going to stick to me. Okay, and then if I do, is there another big one here? Just so that you can see the contrast. That. So the one that's on there is that colour. These 3 pieces here are the black side, the floral side up. So that one is going to go like that. Okay, this one is going here. Oh, see, look at that, stuck to the back of my hand. Look at it. Let me do this last one and then I'll show you how to finish the box. Okay, so this one will go here. And basically I'm going to repeat that pattern over the other corners. So if I bring my box back in, what you would do now is finish gluing all of yours before you do this next bit. But I'm aware of the waffle. Okay, so all of this comes back on itself like that. So can you see this corner here is like the perfect corner? These pieces here, these bits that are on the base, they are going to stick to the inside of your box here. Okay, so on the inside, I don't know if you can see that colour base, then you can see this triangle here, and then you can see this one. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put some glue on the back of this and stick that side on. So I'm just doing one at a time. So I'm putting some glue on there. I don't want to go right up to my score line because I want to be able to move it about a bit. But I'm tucking that inside there. Okay, don't go past your score line. You want it to be just about on it. Okay, because it's easy to push it in too far. So just about there. When you're happy, press that one side down. Okay, so you can see there, that side's in, the rest aren't. So I'm going to go around and do the other ones. So this time I'll bring it back. Now that it's in place on one side, I won't try and hold it all up. I'll just put that in there. Just check on the other side that you're not going too far in. Make sure your score line is above the line. Stick that side down. Do the opposite one. Okay. Like so. Stick it, but just check on the other side that you haven't pushed it in too far, because that one I had glue. Okay, and then I think there's one more left to do. So I'm just going to put some glue on the other side of that one. Okay, and just check that it's not too far in and hold that in place. Okay, pretend this is all covered in the beautiful paper. So now what happens is, when you're sure that that's dry, just help it ease it into place. Okay, it should go in all by itself. And check your lid fits, which of course it will. Just give it a little help the first few times. Ta-da, there's your box. And there is your napkin fold insert. Obviously it doesn't look as amazing as it should because I haven't finished the papers, but I just wanted to show you how to finish the card before you get turned off and don't join in anymore. Now for the lid, how would I decorate the lid? I would just put some ribbon around it, or what I've got is, if you've got these pierced bloom dies, there is loads of them in this set, just absolutely beautiful, hundreds of them. Not really, actually, there's probably about 25 or 30. So I would decorate the top of my box. I've got this stitched circle that I'm going to put on there. I want to keep in with my paper, so I'm going to use some of the bigger blooms, and I've got an embossing tool that I use, which I'm not going to be able to find now, am I? Okay, I'm just going to shape that round. I'll get my embossing ball and just roll it around on there, like so. And then one of these smaller, exactly the same, but a smaller one. I've done the same with that, but I've pushed the sides in, and that's going to become my daffodil. I know it's not a perfect daffodil, but it sort of looks the same as the flowers on the outside. So I would put a few of those. I'd also pick out the flamingo, flirty flamingo that's on the edge of the daffodils on the paper, and put some of them on. Okay, and then just layer up some of the greenery with some of the leaf dies that are in there. There's some really nice big ones, different shaped ones, and just make it look super pretty and something that your mum or somebody you love is just going to appreciate, really be wowed by, and make them feel loved. Wow, I think that's it. I don't like leaving it without a finished project, but I am aware that we've gone on and on and on. So thank you for watching. I really mean it when I say I'd love to see your makes. Please do get in touch. You can find me on my website, createtheottaway.co.uk. You can send me an email at createtheottaway@gmail.com, or find me on Facebook or Instagram. Yeah, love to hear from you. See you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.